Hi guys, welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is part 2. So, just turn that forward just a smidgen. I found my little pans. I couldn't find them to do in a second. Don't need any other watercolors. I do need the lid and a baby wipe or a face wipe. And I'll just dampen it a bit so it stays still. It's not wandering around all over. So I've got a set of 8 48 of these koh-i-noor round watercolor pans, and I've made a bit of a color swatch on the back because you can't always see what's what, but I've decided that I'm going to punch out some little circles, fold them into 6 segments, and then I will be colouring them in and sticking them in the center of each one. Now my hole punch is too big, but it's going to sit in there and it'll just give me an indication of what the colours are. In the lid, I've used it for my wipe, and I'm going to be using my Derwent #1 brush. And it's a method that I call touch and go. You just scratch a little bit of colour and away you go. Hi Pamela, welcome back to Bunny's Designs part 2. I just have a little job to do.
I'll go and see what I can find.
No, I don't want you to do that. I'd like you just to look at this picture. I took a photograph of things. I can have. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Right, these are the things that are for magnesium. These and that page there, and I'll give you it if you bring that back when you've had a quick flick.
Oh, spinach.
Yeah, no, look at spinach, but you can see what I can have. I'm live, darling, if you don't mind.
So, what do you want me to get?
I've asked you, I'm live.
Okay, I'll see what I can do for you.
Right, you can have a look on both those 2 photographs. It tells you what I can and can't have. Thank you, darling. And Trouble's in there as well. Trouble's in disgrace because he wanted to bite everybody. Right, so we're back. Right, so I've got my Derwent brush. Oh, I didn't think I was doing that one, but okay, I'll do that one. I've got a pretty good idea that although I don't have much of a brain, that's got 3 greens on it. I think, although, as I say, I'm not the world's brightest bob button, I think I'm going to be able to work out which colour swatch is for which one, because I have a big problem looking at colours. I have to look at a colour swatch. So the only one I thought was the 3 reds, but there's only one with 4 reds in a row, so I'm pretty sure I can match these up I'm good at jigsaws. So we should have 2, 4, 6, 8. So I have a piece of paper. I've made about 4 colour swatches. I did make about 4. That's fine. I'll put them in the middle. Oh, actually, if I put them in the middle, this is just temp, because as I say, I do need, so that's got 2 oranges in it, that one, and a purple, that one. That's got 3 reds in it. That's got that one. That's the yellows. That's the pinks. That's the blues. That's the greens, and that's the browns. So there we go. So what I can do is actually look at these color guides, because as I say, I do really need to do that. So when I'm looking, I'm not looking at the colors here. I'm looking at colors here. So I won't be looking at that orange. I'll be looking at that color and deciding how strong I want it. So I'm going to pop the reds over there. And then we've got, I think I'll be using that one the most. Right. Oh, well, first we've got to have a bright yellow beak. So that was easy. And this method is touch and go. This is what I like. It's just touch and go. Oh, hi, Pamela. Hi, Darla. Welcome back. This is part 2. There was an awful lot of barking. So it was... so let's have a look. Now, this blue, I spilt some water on it. So we'll have a look and see what this blue is. Oh, it's a bit of a duller blue, this one. Unless it's just where I've picked it up. It looks like we're going to have a blue bird then. And if I'd have thought about it, I could have stopped there and had some nice colour on there, but I went over, so whatever colour I put over there. Do need to keep cleaning the brush, so it's about a dot. I'm hoping to waste a dot. Most of the colour I want on there, I want to go on the page. Oh, hi, Becca. Hi, Pamela, Darla, welcome back. What I'm using is this blue has a drop of water on it. Oh, you found it. It's that gremlin again. So there was a drop of water there and it's been wet for quite a while. But I'm dipping into that to look at the almost like a peerless, I have to say. Look at the vibrant color when we touch it to start with. That's because it had that wet drop on it. Alfie Cross, get down, please. Thank you. He's just upsetting the little pussycat. Right, so very pastely pale there, almost to nothing. Get down, please. Get down, naughty boy. So I've used a bigger dollop this time to pick up a bit more color. And again, this is normally what you would do on a photocopy paper. So you would know exactly how much to pick up in order to get that beautiful, beautiful color to get right to the edge. And it does go right to the edge. I know it doesn't look like it does. If I pick up a tiny amount here, just to give that a tint. And then again, a darker amount here. So I think we're going to have a blue bird with kind of a fair amount of oopsie, that's Bungle and that's Bungle and Betsy. I think I like that. I don't think I want to do the tail feathers the same blue. And then again, there should be that blue dot is all I've wasted, so I can live with that. That's fine. So I'm having a look on the color bit again now. So that's a lovely turquoisey color there, but this color is nice here. This is like an emerald green or a turquoise. So again, it's next to the brown, so I know that that one's there because he's going a circle. So I'm just going to pick up a bit of color and see if we can get that to go. Now it's very pale, is this one. So that was quite pale. So perhaps making and again, by doing this, I'm activating this brush, which is not really what we want. Having to waste all that gorgeous color breaks my heart. But I want a barely damp brush and I want to pick up this color. And then make it go pale. So maybe if you want a watercolor effect, you may have to maybe put a pipette amount of water on it. Because again, without having to manipulate it first. But I'm getting a really nice natural watercolor effect, so that's quite nice. So they are very vibrant if you use them like this. Again, a double tap, whereas peelers, hydrus, Inktense is one pinprick. We are needing a bit more, but of course, remember, it's the pigment. These paints were £16.95 for 48 colours. The Inktense were 40 for 24. So, but I wanted to prove, and I can feel the chalkiness on there on the hand. And I'm tempted to take the green back down to dark again, but we'll just do this. So this is quite good for a very inexpensive paint. We can get a nice effect. No mixing as such, just mixing the water together. Now my brush has got saturated, so I need to clean the brush and start again. And I'm rubbing, you see. When you have to rub the colour, you get this. When you've got wet colour and you touch, you get watercolour effect. So I'm going to look for my pipette. Sorry about the clunk. And I just want to put a drop. I was failing that. It'd have to be an old-fashioned way of doing it with a paintbrush. I don't want a lot, though. That's what I don't want, because that's what happened last time. I wet it too much. Just want a drop of water. One drop. And let's see what that does. I don't think that's going to, no, it's not going to be strong enough. It needs to be activated. And now that's going to be a flat wash. You see, that's a flat wash. Because as soon as you touch a damp brush onto it, yeah, it's not going to be enough, isn't it? I can feel the mixture. But if I pick too much up, I won't get that watercolor effect, because I've got too much color on a wet brush, where here I had a lovely watercolor effect. So it's not as easy as touch and go. So maybe just putting one drop, and you see the thing is that drop is now causing me a lot of problems, because I'm picking up too much color, because it's wet color on a wet brush, and I don't want that, and I'm wasting color. So not quite as easy to get that watercolor effect unless they've been wet for a while. And I can manage to tap on a bit that's see, I picked up too much color. Too much rubbing is too much color. So they can be strong, but then activating them causes a bit more, they're a bit trickier. These are the koh/i/noor. So it's koh-i-noor. Koh-i-noor. Apologize for the pronunciation. And there's 48 colors. So you've got 6 palettes with 6 colors on each one. I did a picture. There's a video yesterday or the day before, and it's the to Oz. And hubby and I have just trashed the house looking for this book, and we can't find it. I've bobbed it somewhere, and I cannot find this book that I was working in yesterday. So the live stream gremlins got us again. They do that quite often around here. So I kind of like that. I don't know if I'm going to do the tail the same. I think the tail could be the same, but I do like that blue. I think I'm going to do this blue for the tail. So they're dry. Now you feel they're chalky. So where there's no paint, and where there's paint. So they are chalky when they've dried. I noticed that before. So again, I didn't want a drop of water. I wanted a pipette, tiny amount. The only other way to do it, maybe to do it like this. So I've got bigger than I wanted. But that's kind of, again, you see, you're messing about mixing water together, but I'm trying to get this to be strong, full strong color without picking it up on my brush, because I don't want it on the brush. Now that may have worked actually. Make sure this brush is completely clean, which it is. So what I want to do now is have a barely damp brush and a pinprick of color, which is very strong, and then take that out to a watercolor. So again, I've got to clean the brush. Now I'm picking up too much color because it's okay, that wasn't enough. What I'm going to have to do perhaps is the big spaces first. Again, sometimes you just have to work around things. And I always used to put a piece of paper under there. When you're at the end of a page, so you don't get the colour on the next page. And we'll work backwards a bit. This paper is quite good in the Hannah Karlzon colour book. So again, touch the colour. So you can manipulate it before you start to give you the effect of you can get this beautiful watercolor thingy. I bought them on, hi Katrina, I bought them on eBay for £16. Just bear with me. That's what they are. Oh, the camera might work now because we haven't got. That's what they are called. Koh-i-noor 48 round watercolor paints, and that one's £14 for 24, but I bought £16.78 post free from eBay. The set of 48. I'm not sure if it's the full set, but there's quite a lot there. Now I've made this and it's settled a bit. This might actually has a bigger space. So I wanted to find well, I didn't really want any more watercolors because I've just bought some beautiful watercolors. But I wanted something that we could use that's not going to break the bank. And there's 48 colors, which I thought was quite good. Now, obviously, we're compromised a little bit on quality, but it's still for a color book. We don't have to think about quality as such for a color book. Now, I picked quite a lot up there. So again, this is when you do this photocopy page first, you realize that you might have enough color to get down to here and have that lovely softest color, and only by doing a practice. So again, this one, I've picked up a lot of strong color, but this water brush is going to just melt those to nothing. And different amounts of pigment that you pick up is going to give you different amounts of highlight. So, sorry, bark alert. And then, as I say, normally you'd have this, so you're able to kind of just carry that round. You want a lovely arc of your wrist rather than twisted. But I've always been bitter and twisted, so I'm okay. It's not too wet, so I'm going to put my thing on there and stroke that colour down. So I did use them on this video a couple of days ago, and I was quite impressed that you could do the touch and go. Now, not normally this watercolor effect, but the touch and go effect that I did on the video before that, which was the video when I was, it's nearly a year old. I've tried to upload it for a year. When we went on the ferry, my husband bought me the first set of Derwent Inktense watercolor pan set. Now I've made a bit of a well there with that scratching with that scalpel, and now it's allowing me to get to the bottom of this color, because that's what we thought before. And I've just done that the wrong color, but it's so bright light it doesn't matter. So I'm going to take that and then pinch some more color here, and then pinch some more color for the last one. So again, another quick way to work. I like quick ways that work well. Have I missed anything out? Oh, I haven't looked on Amazon. Oh, thank you, Pamela. I haven't looked on Amazon. Sorry. I haven't looked on Amazon. Take that away now. It's dried. I haven't used, but you can feel it's a bit chalky rather than going where there's nothing. So we've got some stars. So again, I'm looking at these colors rather than these colors. And there is a purple. I think I like the purple. So I think I'm going to do purple stars. So I'm just going to see. I'm not going to get that effect, I don't think. Let's scratch it again with the scalpel blade. So and I don't really want to drop. I just want a half a drop kind of thing, if that's the right expression. And I want to try and get, without wasting any paint, because I'm a tight Yorkshire lass. So I've managed to manipulate that. So when I touch it now, it'll be like touching a clean brush. It'll be like touching Peerless. That's full strong color now. Famous last words. I'll have to leave that one and come back to it. So again, that colour's getting paler and paler. Did I answer all your questions? Yes, they are gorgeous colours. I was really impressed. And I saw a pack for £6, but I never fancied them. But then I'm always buying, because I do other things, and I like artist quality, but you don't need it for a colour book. So these will give that lovely strong colour. They're very portable. The only thing I'm not happy with is the colour guide. I was going to stick it on the bottom of it. I was going to stick it on the top. So I decided that I would make this little circle in the middle. And so it's just simple. I don't have to mess about picking up the colour guide and putting it back in again. All I have to do is look at the inner circle, and there is a colour guide for each paint circle. But I'm not going to do that online because I'm in live, because it's very boring. I might do one, but very boring to watch somebody do colour swatches. So I like the fact we're getting strong ones. Now this is the kind of slappy one, get the colour and do. We can't get that lovely watercolour effect because this colour is full on in this brush. It's too wet and I've got too much water and the space isn't big enough, so you can't get that watercolour effect. But I can get slightly different variations, so I can live with that. Very quick. Well, I don't say very quick, but fairly quick. Again, absolutely love that. I'll tip them up in a second because the colours are stronger than that, but you just can't see them. So now I need to do this colour here. What blue? I think I've just used that blue. So I do have a pink, so, or a turquoise. I'll use the turquoise green. That's a nice red. Now this is going to be the same. See if we can get this going. See, I've had to struggle and scrub it. Now scrubbing it makes a full-on colour, so it's almost impossible to get a watercolour effect. Now what I'm going to try and do is take this colour now. The one thing I will say is with the Inktense, if you go back to it, you're left with a mark. Now this will lift up. So where's my colour? So I'm just going to touch this colour, and I can feel that colour is damp. It's not quite sticky, but it is damp, so I can feel it. I'm just going to clean the brush a minute. So I can feel that it's definitely been wet there, so I can pick up a solid colour. So in theory then, if we put a little bit there, yes, you see that? I can let that dry and it will reconstitute. So that's really good. Can't do that with some of the non-watercolor paints. So if I get a mark, I can actually move it. So that's quite nice. So I can put a little bit of this strong color at the top of each one and stroke down. And then when that line's there, it will move. Again, we can't scrub too much because we don't scrub in colour books because they don't like it, but we can move that strong line that's dried. Yes, they're very bright, aren't they, darling? Yeah, really bright. I'd say you could almost say peerless. If I move these to one side, well, I'll carry on because I'm not quite finished, but I'll move these to one side and you can see it does take a bit of a knack because obviously it's the binder, but you can see that that colour. Oh, goodness me. That colour is very strong. I think it's because I'm moving too much. So they are really strong, and we must have some peerless kicking about somewhere. I'm not sure if that's peerless or hydrous, but very strong for an ordinary watercolor, which makes me think they might be ink based rather than water based pigment binder. It's the same pigment, you just use a different binder, so maybe that's what they've done. But really, really, really quick. And I just like the fact that, again, I did have to scrub a little bit, but where the marks are, where I've used them, I've only used them twice. Well, I used them this morning, I think. Did I use them this morning? Yeah, I made the little things this morning. And then I used them in the video a couple of days ago. And then we've done this. So they're doing really well. They're doing really well for that. Now, what colour am I going to do there? Again, it's easy. I'm going to have this little thing that I can look down and see the colours. I've used a really thingy brown. I've got green. We've got a dull one in there. I think we'll have a bright pink one in there now. A pink red, I think. And that's not quite as, maybe a pink red rather than a red pink. Now this might not get to be quite as lovely and soft as I want it to be. It would be a lot easier if it wasn't symmetrical, I have to say. And again, I would turn this round so that I get a lovely flow to stay within the lines. Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you. I'm very impressed with them. For under £17 for 48 colours, I have to say. Don't know how long they're going to last, but as I say, for for what we want. When we're doing colour books, we want quick, we want bright, we want value for money, and we want an easy system. Now, when they click together, I'll show you them. They do, as a travel pack, they're very, very cleverly put together. It's just, where do we stick this this color guide, because obviously we want to know all the range of each color, and again, we probably will get 10 tones out of each one. So although there's 48 colors, we've got 480 tones of colors. That's 480. That's without mixing. I mean, bearing in mind the lid is actually a mixing palette. So when you think of that, for £17, you're getting some quite good colors, and probably do quite a number of books. Whereas other things that are a little bit more expensive, I can't fault this. It looks like Peerless and Hydrus. Have to say, there's not much in it. Now, I don't really like doing comparisons, but I must admit, I am quite impressed with these colors, but they do come off a little bit. It's the binder and the pigment. There's something about them that's not. Ooh, I don't know where that green's come from. And apologies, guys. Does anybody know which book this is in English? Because my it doesn't tell you what it is in English, does it? I've got Daydreams and I've got. Apologies for my terrible pronunciation, but I don't know what that one is in English. Oh, thank you. It's Seasons. I'm going to put a little thank you. I didn't realize I'd got Seasons. Thank you, Pamela, for that. Better write that down because I just never remember. Thank you. I don't think I have any more. Right. So, very impressed with these. As I said, I don't know how long they will last. There's probably the same amount of pigment in because they're not very deep. I don't know how far they go down, but the binder is definitely different. The binder is definitely different because it's chalky, but as long as we use them not too strong, I would think they're not going to rub out on the opposite page, because obviously what we don't want to do is to trash this page if we can help it, and only time will tell. I don't know if anybody else has used these. I'm going for a nice bright yellow for here now. I may as well go bright yellow, so I found this one, and my little color guide says that's the brightest one. So now I'm going to end up with a green on that because I made a boo-boo. And again, we want that really strong to start with, and then maybe to go to a kind of a lovely soft yellowy color. I probably could have mixed the colors. Now I don't know what happens when you mix them. I think I was mixing them the other day. I can't remember. No, I didn't mix them on the video. So if I use these next week, I shall mix with them. but this was being so quick. This is what I call touch and go. So there's no mixing and there's no messing. All you're doing is just picking up colour and with the Derwent brush manipulating that colour to a lovely I would have liked to have so I've got a bit of a contrast there. And now, of course, we can do the jewelry bits now. So clean the brush, squeeze some water out, make sure it's all clean. And we have some nice pinks here, I think. I think that is almost like a bird in itself, so a butterfly on a bird. So I think I'm going to go for I used the turquoise down there, didn't I? Let me have a look for a blue. I do have a purple blue. Oh, that's the blue I did the bird in. I'll just fill this little bit in here. It is a lovely pale blue, is that? Really lovely pale blue. Oh, it's the same blue, but never mind. I thought it was a slightly different blue. Again, this is why you need really a colour guide that you can look instantly at and make decisions, because that's what we need to do, really. I can darken that up later so we can have this is a different blue. Pinks, and we've got, now that's a lovely peach colour actually. I like that peach colour, so we're going to pick that peach up and we'll make that peach. It's a very pale peach, that very skin tony, I would think. That one, that's a skin tone. It's not a pinky peach, it's it's a skin tone. That where else can we use that? Possibly in here, I think. Clean the brush, and I think we're going to have a bright pink. Brighter than that. That's some bright gems on here now. So thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for watching on YouTube. If you've got any suggestions, or if you want to know anything, or I've missed anything out, I'm only just playing with these. They've only just arrived a few days ago. So I'm quite new to them, so I don't know if they do fade, or in a colour book we don't bother about fading. Don't think I'd like the chalkiness on a watercolour paper, but for a colour book I think all these colours would be quite good. We can also pick that up as well. So again, although we're not getting that watercolour effect, we're getting that light to dark. Sorry, dark to light. And I've got a little bit of pale pink, so I need to do something with it. So we'll do start pale, start dark, and then go to the end. So to get a contrast, can't get a watercolor effect in there, so start dark and have some dark and some light. Again, a lovely, nice way to work. Yes, we're having to kind of daub about a bit, but still it's almost as good as touch and go. And love the colours. And you know, I was picking up quite a bit of pink there, so not wasting too much. Again, of my pet hates. If you do have a wet wipe or a baby wipe, make sure it does not touch your pages because it will damage them. So this colour, I think I'm going to do this band here like it's a gold band, and then follow that round. Sometimes you just have to pick something and kind of go with it. I think they'll go. And once you get a colour with that little bit of dampness on it, they do tend to behave themselves quite well. You don't have that struggle to get that colour going. And I've managed to get like a little kind of a well or the same place twice now. So the colour, whether there's a coating on top of them, I'm not sure. I think we'll go on that one as well. So I'm not picking out too many colours considering I've got 48. I think I'll go back to that pink. And take that one. Yeah, it doesn't take long. Once you've got it damp, the little pan does actually give up its colour quite nicely. I didn't want to turn it into a pink bird, but it's turning. I've got a very pale pink here now. So I don't want to waste it. I'm going to put it over here to make this a purple. And it will mix with it, so that's something to note. As long as I'm just wasting dots of colour, I'm a happy girl. So I think we could do with a little bit more green in there now. And put that back on there. I don't want to use green now. So it's got still quite sunny here, but it is a little bit windy. I don't know if everybody else is finding. So when I touch that now, I'm just wasting a dot, so I can live with wasting just a dot. That's fine. So this is quite a nice blue. Again, because it was dry, I've had to make it an original colour. Sorry, I mean a solid colour. And again, there's a little well now appeared, so that once that little well is wet, it releases a very strong colour. So perhaps there is a little bit of a coating on the top of these. I do have some pale blue left, so I'm going to just use that to give some pastel colour to there and maybe there. And I think possibly an orange red. Sorry. Oh. Sorry, Alfie's just in and out, bless him. And remember when I showed you that the tip of this brush is smaller than the tiny Winsor & Newton little silver brush that you get in the sets. It's a very tiny brush, is this. And it's perfect. It's my orange now. So it's basically just picking these off now, keep going until I've got a very pale colour, so I'm just going to go into that one, which is a replica of this one. And again, I've got that little well going again where it's been wet a number of times now, so it seems that it's releasing that colour quite strong and there's not that rubbing needed. And then that's quite pale, but I've decided I don't want pale, so and I do like the fact that you can basically kind of just pick a colour and away you go. And again, you can soon tell when that little puddle starts to release. It's a lot stronger than it was a few minutes ago. I'm sorry, back alert. So they seem to be quite strong, these colours. And that happens to be pink, so I'll pick these yellow. I might just put a little bit more yellow onto that one. Now this should be very strong. No, it isn't very strong. I'm in that little puddle again. So I think I would be tempted to get the colour out on the palette and have a bit of a play with the colours. So it's not taken us all that long, and we've got quite a lot done. Sorry guys, Parker. Alfie must have been a saloon dog in the Wild West because he likes that swing door. The idea is that it stops him running in and out, but he just kicks it anyway, so that didn't work. I think I'm almost done everything. I think it's finished. So I don't know how long that took. It's about an hour. So absolutely kind of like that. Can't wait to try them. I would be tempted to take them out of this. I know it's quite good for travel and it's a different novelty, but I like the bog standard. Open it up, look at your colors, look at your color chart, pick your color chart, look at your colors, work out how to mix that color and get on with it, rather than picking one up and having different colors. And I would like all the yellows in one, all the reds in another, because again, you could have 6 and then you'd have 36. I just think they would be better, rather than having yellows over here, then a yellow, then a red, then an orange. It's just a bit bitty for me, but that's just how I work. It's dried. It feels chalky, but it looks lovely. And as I say, when you look at that's the same one. Is that the same one? No. Oh, look at that. You see, that's the peerless. No, tell a lie, guys. Sorry. This is the Derwent Ink Tense. And this is this one. That was easier to do. And I do have some lovely watercolor effects. This is a little bit more difficult to do. I would think if you weren't... Just 2 seconds, Nigel. So, yeah, they're perfect. The only thing is, I'm quite used to doing this technique. So I would suggest, if you wanted to use these like this, is to do a photocopy paper and then have a right good play. And then you might have made some of these little tiny wells, these little holes. There's like a little tiny hole. And what that allows you to do is, when it's right in the center, it's a lot better. So you can see some of these I've just used to do the color swatch. But they are very bright. Thank you. So obviously these are really easy, touch and go. This one, a little bit more difficult to get this right, but there again, it's a new paint. It's a new paint. Once I got the idea that I needed to get a bit of color going, it was fine. But I would think this here, I didn't use that method and it still looks okay. Oh, thank you, Becca. Thank you. I do like my watercolor effect, and they are easier to use. This, I'm doing a bit more scrubbing than I would. It's not touch and go, but as I say, these are a really good price for 48 colors. I'm just going to have to rejig this little way. So how you put, I can't put them together because you can't put them back together when they're wet, but basically they just twist. As I say, I was convinced I wouldn't have to do this, so I can actually do this because you can work out the colors. They're not too wet and there is a gap, so twist. I would think that's because they go moldy. If you, like any paints, you put them back wet, because it's obviously a seal is this. So this is how you do it. And then you end up with this fat top and this, which I do need to dry. Just dry that on there, and then you put that on, and there you have your koh-i-noor hard month. So it's copied Japanese German. Now mine came and they are scratched because the box, the Amazon box was open, or the eBay box, but it was one of the folding boxes, and it was, so mine got scratched because the guy gave my husband the envelope, but plastic cardboard envelope, then he gave them these. So So I was a bit upset. That's the bottom. I can tell the bottom one. There you go. I could tell the bottom one because that's the scratch. And it got scratched because it was on the bottom. So you can tell the bottom one because it's marked all the way around. It got scratched. But for portability, 48 colours, it's not so bad. I'm a bit biased. So what I might like to do is to use my paintbrushes and I think I'm going to use my professional paints in here. Oh, and we've got some practices. Look, we could practice on here. So I think what I'm going to do now is put my new babies into this pan set here. Now they are wandering about a bit, so I might just have to rejiggle that. So I'm going to do that, but I want to play with professional watercolors in these two beautiful books that were sent to me by Melody. And then when I go away, I can just take this with me and possibly, well, I will take the Derwent water brush as well. But I think I'm going to take that with me. So these beautiful watercolors will probably be using both. I'm not sure I want to do these colors because I've done these colors. These are colors and I've seen the images. I think I want to do these in the actual colors they are, if that makes any sense. So daisies, olive colored leaves, blackberries. I want to do them blackberry. So Melody very kindly sent me these beautiful books, and as I say, I was really poorly on the sofa and feeling sorry for myself, so I had such a big smile on my face. But what I'm going to do is use this book probably more than any other. Because it has the wildlife. So this is the book that I'm basing my colour book on, if it ever gets there. But I'm getting better. I've got rid of my headache, so that's the big step away. But lovely, beautiful lemon colours, beautiful green leaves, and soft, real. The complete opposite to what we've just done, which is really, really strong colours. Peaches and real natural colours, blackberries, but again, you know, blackberries, wild strawberries. These are the colours, the wild dog rose. Look at those colours, aren't they just scrumdiddlyumptious? And I think that book will lend itself to do those. So I'm actually going to put a piece of paper in there as a bookmark, or a bit of rubbish, because that's got one of the pages on it. So as an early lost them. I'm not impressed with this. I might have to complain because look, it won't shut. And I can't nip it to shut it. It was very well wrapped. It came from Jackson Art. It was very well wrapped, but I'm not impressed that I can't shut it, which is probably, yeah, I can't shut that. Yeah, it doesn't shut properly. But I can't take them back because I want to use them. So that was a bit of a letdown, I have to say. Now, if I take these out of here and leave them in, obviously, colour order, but colour order. I know I'm going to be disappointed with these colours. I just know I am, because it's not my colours. They're not my original colours that I use, but never mind. Now somebody said they broke this off, but I want 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I need 12 colours in here. Oh no! How upsetting is that? I cannot get 12 in there. I can only get, oh well, that's fine. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I don't use Payne's grey anyway. I've got 11 there. The only thing is they are going to kick about a lot. I do like this. No, I don't like this. No, I'm going to put them in here. Let me just put the middle back into this one. Now this takes, this one takes 24 pans. Yeah, well, it's not going to take 24 of those. Unless you bend those right back. And it's feeding times at the zoo, guys, so I don't know why they won't sit into there. It does say it takes 6. It says it takes 24. So I'm obviously doing something completely wrong. It says it takes 24 or 6. So you can't have them tucked in then. You just have them. Oh, this is one thing I didn't want to do. Right, so we want them on top. You can't have them. You can only have them like that. You can only have them wedged in. Perhaps it might work. I'll move this out. Sorry about all the. So again, that one's fallen in. And the last one to squish in. Now that's not going to be particularly very helpful, is it? No. Well, I thought it said 6, 12 full pans. So you don't take that out. I don't know if you take that out. Oh, let's have a look. So I'm pushing them all back in again. Oh. And normally the half pans go there, but I'm not going to get 6. They're going to get 9. Oh, unless one sits like that. No, so if that's not going to go in like that. Aha. And just go in there like that. And then they should sit in there, and then they should sit in there. So, oh, sorry guys, I thought this was going to be a 2-minute job. And now we have to force that one in there. And I think my, yes. Although it's not in, is it? It's not in. And that definitely won't go in that one. So we can't get them in that way. And I'm going to tell you, so you're going to have them flipping about the bottom. I suppose I could put a little bit of something on the bottom because I'm happy about that, guys. There must be a way they fit in here. Now this one says I've got 24 in this one. No, I haven't. Yes, I've got 24. This takes 12 of those or 24 of those. But no, it definitely does not take them that way because that's 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So it must mean they are loose. Oh, no address though. Could you open it? Oh. Sorry? Thank you. I'm going to, don't cut it down because you might cut through it. I don't know what it is. Just bear with me. Oh, the Amazon Gremlin has. Thank you. Pass it here, Nigel. I'll do it, please. Please don't. No, it's part of the. Thank you. Oh, yes, please. Right, scalpel blade. What do you do with it? There. Oh, the Amazon Gremlin. The Amazon Gremlin is struck again. Amazon Gremlin is struck again. This is why you shouldn't. Ooh. Oh wow. Oh wow. I was thinking. I can't remember buying anything. Oh wow. Oh look at this. Oh wow. Oh, Melody. Can't get in the camera. Thank you, Melody. Look what I've got. Oh my goodness. These. This is humongous. Oh, well, I know what I'm going to be using my new watercolors on. Wow. I saw something similar to this a long time ago but it was on the top shelf in W.H. Smith's years and years ago. Oh, Melody. She's still with us. Are you still here? This is a poster size, double hand span, poster size. See if I can zoom out. Oh my goodness. This is why I had to treat Melody to some paints she couldn't get, you see, because you have to treat people. I mean, treat people as in a treat. We call it a treat. Right, let me just zoom out and see. Let me see if I can get this. It won't ring. Oh, hi, Nick and Tina. Tina, welcome to Bunny's Designs. She is so amazing. This is, as I say, this is why I wanted to get some colours she couldn't get. Look at this big bad boy. This is 20 posters to colour. And of course, Animorphia. They are huge. But that means, oh my goodness, look, you can really get in there and do some detail. Oh, I think this, oh, wow. I'll do a quick flip. It's, I don't know. Oh, yes, I can. Beg your pardon. I'm just going to shut that for a second because I do actually happen to be on the tripod. I should have asked Cubby while he was there. So bear with me a second. Oh, look. Let's see what my haven't got the Kirby Roseanne near, but I do have an ordinary book. So I think the 10 by 10 are the, so this is double, nearly double the size. That's nearly double the size. Wow. So first of all, we have the bear. We have the bear. I don't think I've covered the bear in the first one. And then we have the cheetah. I don't think I've coloured the cheetah in either. We've got the, I don't know what these are, the cross like an ox and possibly. The chameleons are these scrumptious. Oh, I didn't know he's got a little. I love this size. Love this size. It's almost double. I would think that's, it's probably maybe a third again because they are quite big, the Kirby's. I think the Kirby's are quite big, but definitely 2 hand spans across. And there's the tiger, there's the roosters, or the cockerels. I haven't done the monkey either. The black and white faced monkey. And the hounds, the wolves. The lizard, I think that's a lizard. I don't think I've done the lizard either. The monkeys. That would be so lovely to get a real bark effect. Isn't that amazing? Oh, and the owls. I did start the owl and I ran out of energy, but it's a beautiful size, is this. It's double A4. Yeah, it's double A4, and I think the Kirby's are just that little bit bigger than an A4, but they're not quite as long. So it's, yeah, oh, to just hold that up. The owls, as I say, you can really see that you can get some tiger. I did the parrot in, now the parrot I did such a long time ago when we lost Charlie. So that's quite a long time ago. Isn't that amazing? don't think I've done the rhino. I really don't think I've done the rhino. This is one of the first ones I did in watercolor as well, so I'm going to really look forward to doing that in watercolor. I mean, it's huge when you can see you've gone get some real detail into there. And those were all the animals running. I forgot what that was called, that one. I don't want to damage the spine, so I'm trying to kind of hold it up a bit. So that is the whale. Oh, and I've been too frightened to do the pelicans as well. Sorry, the toucans. The flamingos. And some more monkeys. And it's got a beautiful, thick, quite thick board at the back. So when you're resting against it, you're going to have a nice area to work from. Oh, thank you, Melody. That's so gorgeous. It was a huge, but oh, sorry, Alfie's trying to get in. So definitely inspired to put my paints into here. Oh wow, and that's another quick video to start. So what I was attempting to do was, oh, I hope for goodness I kept those in the right order, because you know what it's like. Now that's amazing. They fit in that one. And that one, I think, was at that end. So just bear with me a second. Turn that round and put that there. And put that there. I think I've decided to put those into that one. That one into that one. It's going to wreck that, but no, it's definitely not designed to have that in. They'll fall about. Sorry guys, I really need to get this sorted now, because I want to use these. Do we think they're going to sit snug as a bug in a rug? No, they're not going to sit as snug as a bug in a rug. So I may have to take those out and put them back in the other one, because I'm tempted to put those in that one. See, as much as I buy these new things, I do like. That's not what you use for your scratch mat, is it? And you should know better, Bung. Shouldn't you, Bungle? Bungle. Bungle. Psst, 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 psst. No, I can't reach him. I'm going to really... Oh, Bungle. He's just sitting by my feet. So I'm just going to put those back in there. Right. I do like that one. I'm not sure if I can take pieces now. Oh, I am cross with myself. It doesn't take much, but we'll put that in there. We'll put those away. I like that size, I have to say. And I thought this size would be quite jolly. I don't know how they get those in there. Yeah, they're just going to fall about. I did like this big mixing area though. I think I like that. I'm just a bit disappointed about that, but never mind. Perhaps I may have to use this palette. Oh, at least I can use it. I just have to put an elastic band around it or a hair bubble to keep it shut. Right. Bungle! Bungle! Oh, Bungle! Bungle! No! Bungle! Bungle! No! Oh, Bungle! You need to get... Oh, Bungle! Oh, it's the wrong one! Oh, excuse me, guys. Nigel? Oh, I'm sorry, Bungle. I know you don't like that, do you? I'm sorry, Bungle. Oh, my goodness. Just bear with me a second, guys. Oh, Bungle will not go in his tray. That's why he was clicking the floor. He was telling me, bless him. He's very clever. I'll be back in a second, guys. Sorry about that. It's a good job it's not smelly television. Sorry about that, guys. What I'm going to do is I don't always need a scalpel. Now, obviously, if you don't do this, that's better. You've got to be careful with a scalpel because they are likely to snap. Oh, this comes out. Oh, this one comes out as well. Now this, it's a bit rusty as this one. I just don't want them kicking about the bottom of there. So I bought some pans. Oh, sorry, they put it right at the back. Alfie Cross, that's naughty. Yeah, I don't want them kicking about. I'm going to clean this. I think I'm going to take it in the kitchen and clean it. So we should have 6 there. Yeah, this might be a better idea. Oh, 7. So that's quite good because I can make a couple of colours I might like. Oh no, perfect. I am 2 colours short. Cerulean blue and Elysian crimson. Yes, perfection. Brilliant. So I need to buy those 2 colours, and that's wonderful. I want, because the thing is, I don't want them to be wobbling about. So actually that's quite good, is that they're in there, they're not going to move. I think what you do is you take it out and you fiddle with them, and then you put it in. I think you nip. Ooh. When it's individuals, you can nip them. My thumb's not working very well. So that's what I want. I want them not to pop out. Right, and that is even better because it means I've got my 12 colours that came in the set. And it also means I can put my paintbrushes in there. Won't be using, I don't think I'll be using my water brush with them, but I will be using my brushes, possibly my watercolor brushes. But I can keep another one or two in there for mixing. Never mix with your best brushes. So actually I've gone back to this one. So never mind. I can put a little set of this together. I can put a little set of this together. They will rattle about there. But I'm not using them as, oh, fingers crossed. No, we can't get two in there. Never mind. We'll put them back in there. It'll be fine. I shall find some way to use that one. I've got lots of other paints that I need to sort out, so it's not going to waste. The other thing I could do with this is to put my 6 colours in here. And 2 little ones. Just nip that across. So that's fine. I can use that. I'll nip those into there. So I've got my 12 colours and 2 spare. But I do need to clean this, so I'll take this off because this is now an old thing. I put some tackiness on there. I think I might take this off. Yeah, I'm going to take this out and I'll go wash. I'll wash it. Yeah, and I can leave these colours in here. And then I'm going to do a very quick, I'm going to use them wet to do the same technique. I'm going to be using my brushes. That needs to go to be cleaned. I'll put that over there so it's not in the sunlight. I think I'm going to use this. Alfie Cross. All got dirty now, these. Yeah, we've got 2 extra. So I'm going to do the 12 colours into here. Then they can sit and Don't need to. I don't think I need to write a colour thing with these. The only difficulty might be the reds, but so if I pop those there, excuse me. Excuse me, you can see what I'm doing. So I do want to make my own paint, but I have two problems at the minute. One is my thumb, which has got pseudo gout in it, and I can't grip anything. And when you make paints, you have to grind and grind and grind for ages. So that was the thought that when my daughter came home, but what I might do is put these into these two here now. So I've got two yellows, two reds, thinking of them, two blues, two greens. Right, so let's have a look and then we can have a play. Oh, that comes out. Now let's have a look. Ooh, so I want to just put a thin layer. I think I'm going to be a bit more. I'm normally too precious with things. Yeah, that's the other problem I have, is every time I want to do a color, how on earth am I going to take these tops off? So that's another, there was another reason for doing that. So but I'm not going to fill them to the top because these will remain sticky and tacky because they are professional watercolors. Not all of them, but some of them may do so. They're a lot more watery than I anticipated. They're not as thick as Winsor & Newton, have to say. But we'll see. Beautiful colors. And of course, we can mix till our heart's content. I would think they're a bit runnier because they've got honey in them. That is just a guess. And I'm going to be using them from wet and then since I've got Payne's grey, I can always warm it up. I must have missed a colour. Yeah, I missed a blue. When I'm out and about, definitely not taking the tops off every face, although they're not too bad. I just have to rejiggle that top. It's not on properly. Oh, I can't get that back on. Right, so yummy colours, and I guess they're like that because I do like the pans. The pan size, though, I have to say, I was looking forward to working on there, but I'm going to work on this one. It's fine. So I might pretend. No, I'm going to clean that. I might have to use that. Yeah, I'm going to be using this palette, definitely. I don't want it on a slope, so I'm going to just tilt it up. So what I could just do put them in colour order. Now, obviously, they've got to be kept flat because I'm guessing that's a green. Well, I got those the wrong way, actually. There's two. And that's the last one. Never mind. Just going to sit that under it to keep it flat. So I've got all my colours. I'm not going to be using the Payne's grey. I think that's Payne's grey. Although that could be Viridian. No. Yeah, that's Viridian. I thought it was. Oh, they seem very I think no, I do have, yeah, that's Viridian. I thought it was. I put these somewhere safe. I did like this palette setup, but we'll have a think. So what I need to do is I need to bring back this Fairy Miracles. I'll just have a practice because I know I've been on a while, guys. I'm going to do this. So this is oh, sorry, it's Clara Markova. So I think I'm going to have a practice. Oh, and I wanted a bookmark as well. So I don't want to destroy the book, but no, I want to be flat. Again, everybody works differently. You've got to be comfortable. So I've got this like this in front of me. I do have a big water pot through there, huge one, for washing. And what I'll do is I'll bring that forward. So within reach, I've got something. So I can use that. So you need 2 pots of water. And I'm also going to use one of these, just because sometimes I don't like a lot of water. I'll just leave that there out of the way. Right, the thing I wanted, and I can't find it. Just have a mouthful of tea, guys. Anybody got any questions? So you can see the colours, and I'll do this one first. So some other books I have are Butterflies, Mushrooms and Wildflowers. So if we were looking for these, I think they're blue. Now I do have another book that hubby bought me, but I can't find it, and it actually goes by colours, by flowers, so they're not in alphabetical order, they're in colour order, and I love that. But oh, these might be the same. No, they're not. These are different families of colours, but again, beautiful colours if you wanted to get some proper colours. So delicate, which I think this book lends itself to. So I think I'm going to look for blue. We've got a little ladybird on there, but I think I'm going to look for, oh, that could be a purpley one. It could be like a Camden bell. So this is going to be a good practice, is to find a similar flower. Now obviously it's not going to be very good to do this for all the pages because it takes a long time. So I probably will have the references for each page ready. Otherwise, my 1 hour videos will be hours and hours long. There's convolvulus, but I don't get the impression it's convolvulus. I think it's more like a Campbell. There. That's what I think it is. I think it's that one. Although you can't see the little fronds, but you can't see them in mine. I made mine up as well, so you can't make mine up. You know, it's taking nature and changing it slightly. So I love that purple blue. It's a purple blue. So I'm going to put that there. So I've got my reference colour. A mouthful of tea. And it's really quite delicate, this. So we know it's a purple, so we're going to take a bit of purple. And it looks purple, that one, but it isn't. That's the ultramarine. So I'm going to squish it up there a bit. Now they look quite sticky-ish. So I need to take a little bit of pink, but not too much. And how you can test your colour is, I think that's a bit too blue. But what you need is the edge of a piece of paper, and then you can hold it over the top so it disappears. It's not quite disappearing, so I need a touch more pink. And you do it in tiny amounts. So again, more pink. And what you could do is you could put a little bit of pink up there, and it stops you having to dib up and down. That's what you could do. And that's almost perfect. Almost perfect. So just stroke that down. Now this particular paper is, oh yeah, now they move back together again quite well, but it is shiny paper, this. So you really, oh, there's some chattering going on with those birds. It's settling down time for the birds, so it's kind of you're on my twig, no, you're on my twig, and they there's quite a few of them. And I'm working barely damp again, so we don't have to worry. And that dried, so it is very warm in this room today. And again, I like to turn the page, whether it's a colour book or even the large Kirby Roseanne book, that will get in turned. So now I seem to have got a kind of a natural highlight on that one. I'll just shut this and I'll drop the camera. So I've got my colour. Oh, missed one. It dries really quickly, but as it is warm in this room. So now we have to think about shadow. So instead of thinking now that one is quite wet with so I don't think I'm going to be doing bubbles. So I think we'll have a little bit of dark on the top. And so a little bit on the outside. And just to give them a little bit of oomph. Just got. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. I'm not sure what time it is actually. I've completely discombobulated because of the. I used to stay until about 6 o'clock, so I don't know if anybody else comes on anymore now. I think somebody comes on at 6. If there's anybody else on, guys, if you want to tell me if anybody else is on. I just wanted to have a bit of a play with these new scrumptious paints. So I've managed to get a bit of a highlight, just a little touch of a highlight, and then obviously the smaller brush we can pick up a touch of yellow because that's the complementary color. Just a touch of that. And just building up a bit of character. So you can either do that 2 ways, use the same color but stronger, or add a shade darker, or just adding a touch of that complementary color. I've got a lovely highlight one. Has anybody got any questions, guys? So I think I need to go see a hubby because I've not seen him all day. I've not seen him all day. Just desperate to kind of have a play. So now I don't know if they're going to be too honeyish, but I think they're going to be fine. I am working on a shiny surface, so I think that's my daughter home now. But that was a very quick play with my new Selenia watercolors. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful afternoon. That is it's quite warm in this room, so I think I'm going to need a new for mixing. I think I will need just make sure we get a nice shadow effect on there. It's just a little highlight, not much. And then we could just touch for the red. And you need to hold your page down because there'd be nothing worse. I think there's two ladybugs. There's a little ladybug up there. Give the ladybugs a little bit of a highlight. I think there's only two. I do like this colour, so I think I'm going to do her little heart the same colour, but obviously watered down. And now this has gone a pale colour. I'm going to use it for all these little peeping out stamens. Now you've got to be careful when you're doing this because your brush will dry out, and if it dries out it will drag itself across the page and make a boo-boo. So you have to keep an eye on what the end of the brush is doing. Now normally with a rigger like this you can tease the colour out for quite a long time. I'll finish this little card before I go. Oh, thank you, Becca. Thank you. So, do the foliage now. Not sure what kind of colours. We need a touch of brown over here for the stem. And seeing as it's a small space, I'll just keep working with this 10-0 brush. And I'm going to just put that all the way around. Oh, it's quite pale. Again, dry brush, twist to a point, and pick up a tiny bit of colour. And again, I know it looks a bit fiddly, but it's a really nice, again, quiet way to work. Yeah, I'm mixing colours, but I'm not mixing huge amounts. It's just very delicate. And I don't really like this green, but again, test it first. It's quite a nice pale green, that one, actually. So I think, and remember, the rigger is doing what it's done all day, like the Derwent watercolor brush. It's gently diluting the color, very, very soft way. And we're just getting some really lovely colors. Now, if I put a dark one, this should be a little bit bigger brush, this. But remember, this is watercolor, so it will move. You can remove it. If it's on proper paper, you can move it as many times as you like, but this is on a shiny surface. So we can just create the tiniest little bit of shadow. By working with the bottom leaf. And you don't want any dark in here. You don't want any, because you've got that subtle shade. So we've got a highlight on the leaves now. And now we want to work on her wings. So if I work with this particular rigger or liner brush, this one is, she could actually have pink. She could have pink wings.
Okay, go ahead.
Or just off pink wings. If we start down here, and if we don't do the top, clean the brush. So we've just got a damp brush. Blend out that hard line. Now we couldn't do that with the Derwents because the Derwents are an ink base, but because this is watercolor, it will. I can take it all out, clean brush, manipulate that back to give a beautiful soft highlight. And again, sometimes I don't really want to work in bright colors. I want some lovely soft highlights. Thank you. Now we do want some stripy socks though. I have to say, we've got to have some stripy bee socks, so we're going to have a bit of that yellow there. Twist to a point, and I'll show you a trick, especially with some of these things. I bought one of these at the model railway show. Now it's quite dirty. It's for a soldering iron, but it's brilliant for doing miniatures. Oh, now there is light on it. This particular one has a light, and it has a magnifying glass. If it's not filthy. So you can do two things. And it takes practice to do this, because you've got to know where your sock is. So she's got some little stripy socks on now. Isn't that gorgeous? Touch of yellow on my brush. So I'm just going to do this little flower here. And these little puff balls here. And just give a little bit of, oops, I touched the red. You see the watercolor? I touched a tiny bit of the red. That will all move if you used a wet cloth. So that's a very quick little scene. Oh, thank you, Angel. Thank you. Welcome to Bunny's Design. These aren't these koi ones. These are the Selenia professional watercolors with the honey from Selenia. Oh, come on, frame yourself. You know you want to. There we go. So that's what I'm painting with, and it was the set. So that's what I'm using. The set of 12 watercolors, but I will be buying cerulean blue, and that's too pink for me. I want Elysian crimson. Apart from that, it's perfect, so I'm going to be buying those two, and luckily I got an extra 2 in there, so that's perfect for me. Bye guys, have a wonderful afternoon. Oops, need to clean my paintbrushes now. I will be painting with my watercolor paintings, so I'm going to put that on there. So thanks for watching. Have a wonderful afternoon. I'm going to have a practice with this one, a cupcake. And then there was a bookmark. And I think by the time I've done these 3 things, I think I've got used to these. So thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.